From the slowest downloads to the smoothest streams of cyberspace, welcome to the Kidawa Show. And here's your host, Arthur Kidawa.
Welcome everybody to the Kidawa Show, your late night YouTube talk show. Today we're going to discuss a little bit of vlogging, and that is something that came into being as soon as pretty much YouTube started taking over and came into creation. Vlogging is basically sharing yourself with the public or privately through video. Instead of doing it in a diary or a journal, people now make videos about their daily life and experiences. Obviously, reality TV is a big thing, as we saw with the Osbournes in the past. So today we have a wonderful vlogger from YouTube.
Out of sight.
That's right. And her name is Kandie Angel. So please welcome her to the show. From the Highlands of the States, please welcome Kandie Angel to the show today. Welcome, Kandie.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, just trying to make sure my camera don't fall. Sorry, guys.
Camera? What camera? We have many cameras in the studio.
Yeah.
How would you like me to refer to you as? Is Kandie alright?
Yeah, Kandie's great.
Okay. Let's see. Well, let's start off with, tell me, Kandie is a blogger.
Yes.
And tell me, Kandie, why did you decide to start blogging on YouTube?
Well, I actually got inspired by my friend Marianne, or she goes by Marie now. She does a channel called Life with the Jays, and she's been doing it for a year in May, and her children both have disabilities. Her daughter has epilepsy, and her son has, I believe it's CF, where he can't process food properly, and so he has to, and he doesn't get enough nutrients, so he has to wear an IV into his stomach at night. And so, and she also has some disabilities, and this woman is strong. She has raised these two children her whole life. I've known her since I was 10 years old. And we've just been best friends. We've never even once had a fight. Like, that's how good of friends we are. Most friends usually have those few moments where they bicker, and we've just had a best relationship. We're both extreme Twilight fans. Extreme Twilight fans. And so I just got inspired because I started watching her channel, and it just made it where it seemed like when I was watching it, I felt like I was right there hanging out. And I'm about 15-hour drive away from where I grew up in Bullhead City, Arizona. And so, and well, it's Needles, Bullhead City. They're all a little tri-state area. And so when I, just watching them made me feel like I was right there hanging out with her. And I was just like, this is awesome. And my mom, she lives about 13 hours away from me in Pine Top and Show Low, Arizona. And so I was like, that'd be a great way for my mom to be able to see my kids grow up. My brothers from, that live in Phoenix, be able to see my kids grow up. My aunts and uncles, if they choose to watch, all my old friends that I don't get to see, because I literally have, I have a few friends here that I've met, but I don't really get out much. I stay more at home, vlogging and taking care of my kids and just spending more time with my family since I've grown up, that I don't really have much time to hang out with friends. And, the friends that are single or whatever, they like to go to the bars. And for one, I'm on a very strict budget. Even though my husband works for NASA and makes good money, I still, I budget my stuff every day. Everything that goes in, everything that goes out, I make sure all my bills are paid to the T, and I make sure my rent's paid 2 weeks early if I can. And, I just, ever since my first marriage, I learned all the what not to do, what not to go into debt on, and I just try to stay focused when it comes to that. And so it kind of been...
Plus, you're busy being a good mother.
My boys are straight A students. I'm very proud of them. They're just the most well-mannered children, and they surprise me every day. My son just brought... he was in the gifted program a few years back for a few years straight, and he just brought me a application that saying that we want to, he's literally above in every single subject, and he is, even though he's doing great, he's probably going to be getting bored soon because we have nothing else to teach him, basically. And he's only in seventh grade. My oldest son is only in seventh grade, And he actually has a channel. It's called The Pie. It's connected on my thing.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, he does.
Excellent.
He's only made like 1 or 2 videos of, he does gaming. And my youngest son does 1 video, I think, too, of gaming, but they're embarrassed of their voices. Even though they sound so cute, they really do.
Yeah.
They sound cute, but they're embarrassed. So, but he brought an application home and was like, Mom, they told me that all my subjects I'm ahead in. And I'm like, okay, well, what do you want me to do? I can't teach you more that they don't have. And he's like, well, I'm already in, and he's already in 9th grade technology, and he's only in 7th grade. He's already above in his literacy in 8th or 9th grade because he published a book and he wrote, illustrated, and published a book in 3rd grade. And it's called The Fire Bee. I would actually have to find the book to tell you where to get it, which I will send you the link and you can, put it back.
Absolutely.
I'll find out.
Please do.
Yeah, and so ever since I taught him how to read when he was 2. He has just been very motivated, and he was a very quiet child growing up. But just for the first 6 months of kindergarten, he wouldn't even talk to kids or his teacher. I literally didn't know why he wouldn't talk, but he was always very smart and just very, very, very quiet. And I mean, it took me 1 day to break him off a bottle when he was 1.5 years old. Yeah. I potty trained him he was a year old. He was a year old when I broke him off the bottle. I potty trained him at 1.5 years. Like, that child's just been an old soul since the day he was born. And so he's just very motivated. And then my youngest son, he's ADHD like me. I've never given him medication. I haven't ever had him diagnosed or tested because I know every single sign of it. And I'm not saying I'm a doctor, but I've suffered with it for so long that I know how to help him concentrate and how to help him focus. And he's a straight A student now. And when I was in school, my parents didn't know that I was ADHD. Well, my mom didn't. My dad wasn't around. But my mom didn't know because they didn't even really know what ADHD was back then. And so it was basically me struggling. I talked all the time and couldn't understand why everything I read I couldn't figure out. And so it was just me struggling my whole life. And so I seen what struggles my son had in kindergarten and 1st grade and 2nd grade. And so I was like, okay, now I'm starting to see what this, like, all the little signs that I used to struggle with, I'd start seeing in him. And so I was like, okay, this is what I need to do to help him. And this is what I need to do to help him. Yeah. And one of the biggest things, I don't know if anybody knows, but having ADHD, if you have a child with ADHD, you need to cut out all red dye 40 out of their diet, because it is literally like giving a child a line of speed. It will wire them up, and it can literally race their heart and give them a heart attack. Like, I've been very, very,
good tip.
Very focused on his well-being and my well-being. And, even though most people say you got to put your kids first, you actually have to put yourself first.
Right.
When my son was, before my son was a baby, they tested me for cancer and all kinds of problems. And I never had full-blown cancer or anything like that, but I had cancer cells through my uterus and cervix, to where I had to have biopsy after biopsy, and my cervix frozen and little pieces cut out of my uterus for almost 11 years. And every time that they'd say, okay, well, now we got to go in and, you have the cancer cells, they'd do another test, and they'd be like, well, now you're healthy, we can't find them. And literally, I know a lot of people say, oh, I've had a lot of people tell me you're lying, you're a hypochondriac, but I am very good at mind over matter. When I believe something and I focus on it, that's one great thing about being ADHD is once I do focus on something, I can focus 100% and do it to the perfection.
And a ton of energy goes that way.
Yeah, and I can focus all my energy on it. And I literally, there was a time when I was right after my divorce. Sorry, I go into every story. After my divorce, I don't even give you a chance to ask questions. Sorry about that.
I'll just cross it out once you cover the topic.
Yeah, I do have one I want to talk about. After my divorce with my first husband, I was, I'll start with the beginning of that part, actually. I knew him 10 days when I got married. Okay. And literally, I met him, and 3 weekends later, we got married. Like, I didn't even see him during the week. We talked on the phone and then got married. And I was pretty crazy. I'm very eccentric, and I'm very spontaneous. And if I feel something's right, I go by my feelings. Sure. I go by signs and how I feel. And if I feel something's right, I will follow it to the best that I can. And so when I met my ex-husband, I married him right away, and we were literally married almost 9 years. And the first 5 years of our marriage, we had a pretty good marriage. And then after I got, if you all don't know, I got a breast augmentation back in 2005. And after I got my breast augmentation, he kind of just stopped paying attention to me, I guess, or just, I don't know. He was happy with the way I looked before, and I was unhappy with the way I looked. After breastfeeding both my children, I kind of went from being full of milk with my youngest son. I was a full D.
Right.
And after children breastfeeding for a year, I went down to an A-. I don't even know they have A-.
Wow, either way, big drop. Yeah.
Yeah, and so when I put on clothes, I just felt like I didn't feel like a woman. I felt very ugly. And growing up my whole life, I was told, that I was ugly and I wouldn't amount to anything. And and a lot of people called me mayonnaise because I don't know if you can see, I'm very pale. Yeah, extremely pale.
Well, let me say something about that real quick, because I live in a part of the world where people want to be pale, and if you're dark, everybody makes fun of it.
Oh, that's funny.
So people here are naturally kind of darker, and so if you came to this part of the world, everybody would compliment you on your skin and ask you, how do you make it so pale? Because people here actually spend money to buy acids and things like that to make their skin come off, to make it even more pale.
Wow.
People always want what they don't have, and you just see that all over the place.
And there will be one thing I will point out on that. Yes, a lot of people tell me I do have good skin because I don't break out a lot. But I have very dry skin, so I use a lot of lotion, but in a way it's actually good because somehow it's kept my skin very elasticity or a lot of elasticity and stuff in my skin because I use lotion every day and take care of it. But when I was younger, one of the cons about being pale like I was is I pretty much, I don't know if it's called melatonin or pigment or whatever, but I have very low pigment and melatonin in my skin. To where when I was younger, I literally had, I believe, an allergy to the sun. If I was out in the sun for 10 minutes, I would have blisters like the size of golf balls under my eyes, on my shoulders. When I was 12 years old, I fell asleep in the sun for about 30 minutes, I think it was, and I had a blister about this big all the way across my whole back. And it got to a point where I couldn't even lay down. My mom had to pop them with needles, and you're not supposed to pop a blister because it could cause infection, but I couldn't lay down, sit, or nothing. It was torture. When I was a kid, it was torture. And I lived in a town in Needles, California, where it was 130 degrees in the summer. And so I couldn't even go outside. And then I was made fun of my whole life for it. Oh, they would never see me when I was red and blistered. They'd always see me, the white girl. And so they'd be like, oh, you're mayonnaise, you're Casper, you're creamy white wall. Like, they had names like Ghost. And it literally got to me so bad that it was from like third grade all the way through high school. And I dropped out of high school at 17. And I was just like, as soon as I was a month before I turned 18, I was like, I can leave legally. I'm done. I'm tired of these people. I had my few choice friends that I have one that I'm a really good friend with now. And that's pretty much, I think I talked to maybe 3 people I grew up with, and everybody else just kind of fell off. The few I do talk to, it's, when we're not busy with our lives and stuff, but I think the main person I really talk to is my friend that runs Life with the Jays. Me and her we talk about, just more YouTube stuff ever since. We're more talking about YouTube all day long now. It used to be about kids and all life, and now it's like, what did I do on YouTube, or what did you do? It's all about YouTube now. It's funny how it consumes you.
It does, absolutely. It's so verified. I mean, it's got so much variety, not verified. Yeah. I'm verified, and I'm sure you are, but I'm saying it has so much variety to it,
Sorry, there is one point I do want to make out. I was actually watching a few videos the other day, and I can't remember the lady that I just started watching, but I just love her. She's cute. She has a southern accent, and her accent, you'd think she was an older woman because her voice is real deep, but she looks like she's about my age, and she was making a point of how I've been watching like all these makeup tutorials and stuff on all these girls, and I'm like, I see them covering dark circles, and don't get me wrong, I do my makeup very well. For every photo shoot, I've always done my own makeup. I'm very artistic, and if I have to take an hour to do my makeup, I will, because I'm a perfectionist. I will do it like a piece of art. But all these girls out there, how they dab on the makeup, when I dab it on to put on the coverage, I'll just let you know, if you have wrinkles, it ain't dabbing on. It's dabbed on great, and then you look like a drag queen. You look like a drag queen, because it literally, even though you cover it, I mean, I haven't used any primer, so that could be a lot of my problem. I've never used makeup primer, but I have under eye wrinkles and I'm not even saying, everybody tells me, oh, you look so young. I had a plastic surgeon tell me, you have some young wrinkles for 24. When I first, when I got my boobs done, I was going there, and I'm like, are you kidding? That's the worst thing you can say to me. I'm 25 years old with wrinkles that you think are too premature. Yeah. So I just want to make a point. If you do have fine lines and wrinkles, when you put on makeup, just rub it on, not dab it on, because otherwise it's going to leave the big, deep lines in your wrinkles and make you look worse later. Just a point I wanted to touch. But for all those girls that do their makeup amazing, props to them, because they're awesome. Right on.
Well, it's art. It's art after all, and the quality of blending it in as well. Okay, I don't know where I was going with that. So let me say, what was I going to say? You look good. I was going to say you look good, and I was going to ask you, how long did it take you to get ready for this?
This morning I set my alarm. I woke up at 7, took a shower, and by the time from 7 all the way until 8:55, I was literally 5 minutes before, rushing around, looking for headphones. But when it comes to like my makeup and stuff, I think it took me about half an hour to do my makeup, about half an hour to do my hair and stuff. I've actually mastered that. But if I try the stuff that the girls try online, like certain contouring, that'll take me like 2 hours, and I'll look like the drag queen afterwards. I just can't do it. I'm like, I just got to do my own style. I can't try somebody else's. Cool. And
respect.
I don't know if you want to touch on the subject of jobs other than YouTube, but I run a computer business for my husband out of my house. It's called Rollercom Solutions. It's ROLLERCOM. And then Solutions. It's Rollercom Solutions. It's my husband's name is Roller. And then it is Roller.
Okay.
Yes.
I wasn't sure if that's a nickname or you wanted it public, because I saw you mention in one video. Okay. I'll call you Roller out loud, and then later you just started doing it. So I was curious.
His last name used to be Roller. And he has never went by his first name, which I won't say because he doesn't like it. He is from he's from Utah. And he's from a Mormon family, and this is going to probably get at once we connect the tag words to this. It's probably going to have a bunch of Mormons knocking at my door. But my husband, his father is polygamist. He has multiple wives. He only has 2, so he's on the low totem pole of being the polygamist. Yeah. Roller's uncles and his mom and all his uncles and them were polygamist. His grandpa wasn't, and then when I guess his grandpa and grandma got divorced back in the day, she married like the head of the polygamist church, and so I guess that's how their whole family turned into it. They used to just be normal Mormon, and now they're fundamentalist, I believe they call it, fundamentalist. Anyway, so he came from a very strict Mormon family, and when it comes to polygamy, it's more corporate. They treat their children like an employee. Every child is a new income. Every child is a new project. And literally, when Roller was being baptized by his dad was, doing the whole ceremony, and he looks over at his mom like, what's his name? Because he's just one of 18. Right. He has 17 brothers and sisters, and his dad has 3 from, I think, two from his first marriage, or 3, and then I think it's 2 from his first marriage. His mom has 3 from her first marriage, and then they have, together they have 3, and then his dad, because his dad was married before his mom and them were together. So they technically have they have 9 kids together, kind of, from his stepchildren, or his kids and her kids together, 9 kids. And then his sister mom, the sister wife, she has 9 kids all on her own with the father. So he has 9 brothers and sisters from the other mom, and then he has, you know, from his dad and mom, this side, he has 7 or 8 or something like that.
Okay.
But, yeah, it's just a lot of kids.
Yeah, it's a lot. I think it comes from the farmer mentality still, where they have a lot of kids to help around the house and all that.
It is a lot for chores and stuff like that, but it's technically, I mean, from my point of view, and I mean, I can't say 100% because I don't know everything about it, and I try to not ask my husband about it because it is a very touchy subject for him. He doesn't talk to his family at all. He doesn't contact them because they literally have tried to kidnap him 5 times since I've met him, and he was 18.
Wow.
Every single one of their children live in Utah. They all go back home when they're done, and he's basically, I don't know if you ever know the story of the prodigal son. I don't really know the whole story of it, but the prodigal son, where the prodigal son leaves and he's the one that's the prodigy and they want him to come home and he returns. Well, he won't return, and they're mad about that. Yep. He is the prodigal son. Like, he is his dad's genius child. He has taught himself everything. He works for NASA, and he has never once gotten a degree. I made him go out and get his GED when I met him. He only has a GED. That is it. He writes code. He taught himself everything he knows by the first few years that, when I first met him, I met him when I was working as a dancer in Vegas. I used to work at Scores. I used to work at Penthouse. Now it's, I think, Crazy Horse 3. Most awesome club ever. I loved it. And, you know, honestly, I'm not ashamed to be an exotic dancer because almost all of those women that I met there that I worked with were single moms trying to make it.
Sure.
With douchebag, sorry about the language, but with guys that just didn't want to help and, you know, and just got stuck in a really crappy situation. And when I was living in Vegas and dancing, my ex-husband had my children because I wasn't stable enough as myself as holding on a job and stuff, because my whole life I never really held a job. I was taken care of by my husband. Before that, I was living with my mom, and you know, I had little jobs here and there, like fast foods when I was a teenager, but I got married when I was 20, so I pretty much was, I was taught how to be a housewife by my mother and grandmother, and so that's what I was for a lot of years. And when I did try to go out and get a job, my ex-husband just basically gave me crap for it because, oh, we can't afford babysitting, you need to be home, stuff like that. And so it was just a point where I got tired of being, which is kind of funny because I'm at home full-time now with puppies. Yeah. But, you know, when you're 20, you don't want to be stuck in the house. When you're 20 years old, you want to be out socializing, even if it's just at a job or going out with your friends. Sure. You want to be out there meeting people and talking to people, and especially somebody with my energy and me being ADHD, I own it because I love being talkative, and it's really funny. Now my energy is cooped up inside because if I meet new people, I'm so nervous outside my house.
I do this to people though. I let them release it. That's one of my things.
Well, no, you know, it's not just that though. I can talk to anybody on the phone. Yeah. I can talk to anybody online. Yeah. But when it comes to actually walking out in public, and if somebody comes up and talks to me, I could talk to them all day long. Yeah. But when it comes to me actually going and being like, right. Hi, I'm Kandie. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm very similar.
You know, there's one. Yeah, and you know, I never used to be like that. I used to walk up to people and be like, "Hey, how's it going? I'm Kandie. What's up?" Because I just love talking to people. And now it's just like, oh my God, people are looking at me, or what if? Because now I'm not lazy. I'm kind of, it's not about being broke either. I am on a budget, but I will tell you, makeup is expensive. So I kind of find it to the point that I don't leave the house enough to where I need to wear it all the time. So I'm lazy at that point of actually doing my makeup most of the time. Like, if you could tell in most of my blogs, I'm like, you know,
I'd be the same way.
But I'm actually at the point where I kind of feel comfortable wearing less makeup than I do makeup now. Yes. You know, before I was like, I need makeup to look better, and now I'm like, if I wear makeup, you can see my wrinkles more because it's deepening them in. You know,
but I like that in your blogs. I like that you're not covered in makeup all the time, and that says something about your personality too, and how comfortable you are with it.
Exactly. Well, for a long time, I used to be extremely worried about my appearance. Being a tattoo model, I was the type of person, and even now I'm still like, you know, you never know who you're going to meet. you could walk outside and meet the president of the United States, which I don't even want to touch on that subject. I'm not even going to go there. Okay, somebody famous. I could be, my famous person that I would die to meet. I don't know if you ever seen the show Smallville. The lead character, Tom Welling, is like my dream guy. That dude has the most chiseled, gorgeous smile with the pretty blue eyes and the farm boy abs, and he's amazing.
Right.
That's my dream guy.
I see. All right.
I always...
Good. Glad you told us.
I always told my husband if I ever meet him, I'm cheating no matter what. He's like, if you ever meet him, I'll let you.
Hey, why cheat? Just get them all involved.
That's the thing. Okay? He said he'll film it for me.
Great. Just put it on YouTube.
Right,
Make sure you do that.
I was talking to people. They said you can't do that. You'll get banned.
You can't, but you can censor it. You can censor it.
I actually seen a girl. I think her name is Holly. I can't remember. Dang it. I feel bad because it's a bunch of YouTubers I've subscribed to, and being ADHD, I love you guys and I watch your channel, but I'm bad with names.
It's hard. Nobody blames you. It's hard to remember.
Because I do the sub for sub, and I think I'm subscribed to like 400 YouTubers, so it's a lot. I think as many as I have, I am, subscribers, I think I'm almost there. And so this girl the other day, she was doing this video on a bra, and she was just in a bra, and she's all, you go like this, and I'm like, how does she get away with that? That's not fair. But it was a review. But,
was there nipplage?
Well, no,
there wasn't any nipplage, right?
There wasn't. But I've had people complain about pictures where I'm totally covered, and I don't know if you've seen my website, but if you search my first and last name, KandieAngel.com, I have a website, which I have some of my older modeling on there. I'm in the process of rebuilding it and turning it into a blog/website so that I can have all my modeling there. And I do also do nude modeling that's artistic. So I'm going to have a members only section for the parts that are going to be, because there are some parts that, like, I do show my breast and my behind, but I am very artistic. I never show my vajayjay, I will tell you that. And I've had some photographers get very mad because I won't show my vajayjay. But, there's just a point that I do have teenage boys, and there's a point that no matter how much I keylog their computers, they will find it some way.
Sure. And it's unnecessary. I mean, as a tattoo model, I've never seen any of that.
Exactly. And, if I wanted to go to work for Hustler, then that'd be one thing. But, I have auditioned for Playboy. That was actually one of, right around when I first started modeling. That was actually the first audition I ever did for modeling. Was Playboy. I did that back in 2008. It was February 13th, 2008. I actually consider that an anniversary because I tried sushi for the first time too. And so, my husband took me to sushi for the first time. When I met him, I don't know if I ever finished that story. I'll go back to it. He used to be my babysitter when I first met him. I met him in the strip club, and then we started talking every single day, and I'm an extreme good judge of character. And a lot of people were like, you let some kid you just met watch your kids and this and that and blah, 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 blah. But, I am a very excellent mother. And when it comes to my kids, I'm the most overprotective mom in the world. My kids are 14 and 16, or 14 and almost 12, or almost 14 and almost 12. And they have never once played a violent video game. They do not watch scary movies. I monitor every single thing they watch, play. They're not even allowed to watch PewDiePie because he cusses in his videos.
Oh, really?
I'm very...
Props on that?
Yeah, well, I cuss like a sailor, but even my oldest son said that he doesn't even have friends that cuss because he's all mom. He came home to me one day and I was like, okay, honey, this is how junior high is going to be. Like, trying to tell him, okay, be prepared for this. And I mean, even their school has been locked down because kids have brought marijuana to school. Because in Colorado, it is legal.
Wow.
And it's legal for anybody over 21. And so there are teenagers. I mean, when I was 15, I remember playing around, being stupid. But there are teenagers that are going to get a hold of it from or even allowed to get a hold of it from their parents. I know a lot of people that let their children smoke with them or used to. And so, you can't really, it's their preference. That's fine. But don't bring it to school. It's, there's other kids there that aren't subjected to it. And, and that's how it works. And even though my kids live in a state where they see other people doing it, it's, for one, they don't see it outside because Colorado is very strict about doing it in public, which is cool, and people have to understand that it's not just a drug when it comes to a lot of people. My aunt has stage 4 cancer and she smokes marijuana, and she, I'm actually going to go on the subject. I don't even care. I have problems gaining weight. I can't eat, and so I don't get an appetite. I actually haven't even eaten all morning because I
was going to ask you, how do you stay so slim?
I work out, but this is funny. There's days that I will be hungry and I can eat a pizza and ice cream, and I don't eat certain healthy ways most of the time. I eat whatever I'm hungry for. If I want to go eat a German chocolate cake, I'll eat the whole cake myself. Literally, I made a pineapple upside down cake, and it was a marijuana one. It was a medical marijuana one because I have trouble eating, so I smoke medical marijuana to help with my nausea. And I've had my license for, I think almost 3 years now, 2.5 years now, and it really does help. Even after my kids, though, I have a high metabolism with my ADHD that my most I ever weighed full term pregnant was 134. I was 134 pounds, 143, and I gained 34 pounds during my pregnancy, and that was full term. I was full on ready to bust at 143.
I see.
And I was huge for.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'4". I'm really teeny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I weigh, I don't exactly have a scale at the moment. My scale broke, but I believe between 103 and 105 pounds. Ever since about 3 months before I got married a few years ago, I got really stressed out planning the wedding. And when I'm the type of person, most people, I don't know how a lot of people are, but I know a lot of girls or women or even men, when they get stressed out or depressed, they eat and to help with, or they do something to just distract them from the pain. And with me, when I'm stressed out or if I'm in pain or I'm having heartache or something, I can't eat. I physically get sick to my stomach, and I just can't. I'm surprised I haven't died of a broken heart yet, because I actually know you can do that. You physically can die of a broken heart.
Starve yourself? Yeah.
I've been through a lot of heartache. My main role model in life passed away in 2002. It was my grandmother.
Who's that?
My grandmother. She, I love my mom. My mom is my mom. I've grown up with my mom my whole life, but my grandma was the one that I took more advice from. I don't know why. I just did. I consumed everything that she said, and I just brought it all in, and I sponged it all in there like a 3-year-old. That's one good thing about being ADHD. And it's also a bad thing about being ADHD. When I am listening, I can consume everything, and I can remember everything. When it comes to numbers, I'm very good. Like when it comes to doing my bills, I use Google Docs or Google Drive. I use Sheets, and I do all the billing and everything on there, and I add and subtract everything in my head before my husband gets it done on the calculator. Like, I'm very good at math. I'm very good with numbers. Nice. I'm very good at remembering just anything with numbers. I can connect it easy. When it comes to names and reading a book, I have to read something 5-10 times over. And then later on, I remember it. But while I'm doing it, I'm like, I'm not getting this. I'm not getting this. And then, I'll take a test or something. I just did the YouTube Creator Academy the first week. I'm actually behind the whole second week. But I did the first week, and when I did it, I was reading it, and it took me an extra 3 or 4 days just to read the one day, and I'd try and try and try, and when it came down to it, I took the test, and I was like, oh, I know that answer. Oh, I know, and I memorized it without even knowing I was doing it, and so my mind absorbs it, even though I don't realize it, but at short term, I can't get it, and so I have a lot of problems with short term memory.
I even tell my students sometimes, I teach them, a lot of my students now are a little bit younger, and I know they're going to forget a lot of things I say, but the point, it's going to stay in their minds somewhere, and it's going to affect and create who they are eventually, so.
It'll be in the back of their subconscious without them knowing, so later on they're like,
that's right.
Where did I learn that?
That's right.
And there's also, I don't know if you know what an empath is. I'll let you guys know. I've more realized it since I've met my husband now. I don't know if you've ever heard of Zeitgeist, but it's kind of like a conspiracy theory type thing. Well, I watch Zeitgeist. My husband is very into stuff like that, and he showed it to me. And when I first watched it, I grew up kind of the opposite of everything of that, where you do what you're told and you believe what's on the news and you believe, like, I was very naive, and my husband actually called it, he said I was unconsciously incompetent. And when I first heard him that, I was like, did you just call me stupid? How dare you? And I was so mad at him for like 2 days. And then he explained it to me. He's like, are you calm now so I can tell you what it means? And he's like, it basically means you're unaware of your environment. You're unaware of your surroundings. And I was very unaware for the longest time. Sure. And when I actually...
Most people are.
Yeah, and I'm out of my ego. Like, if I close my eyes and touch my hands, I can actually see in my mind what I'm doing. I could dye my own hair because I can see where I'm feeling in the back of my head, I could see in my mind. So I don't miss spots, surprisingly.
Sure, I've been doing on my own haircuts for the last 10 or 15 years.
I do my kids and my husband's hair, and I never I went to beauty school, but I didn't go for hair. I just went for nails. And so I never learned haircuts. And the very first haircut I ever gave, I was 19, and this guy had like, the movie Joe Dirt, he had that style haircut with the mullet and the long hair. Right. And I cut his hair, and I actually cut it to look like yours with scissors. And it took me like 5 hours for the very first time, but I did it. I was like trying to be perfectionist. And and the first time I ever cut my son's hair, he was 1.5 years old, and I had scissors, and he was crawling around the whole house, and I was cutting his hair while he was crawling the whole time. And it turned out perfect. I was like, I don't know how I did that, but it was amazing.
That's probably even better for you. Get him on the move.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And nothing came out crooked. I was surprised. When they sit still, I think it comes out more crooked.
I want a moment to praise you.
Okay.
So I want to say, you've been on YouTube for 4 months now. You have 397 subscribers. So congratulations on that.
I hit 400 yesterday.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes,
I hit 400
it's right,
yesterday.
because...
I didn't even know somebody was... this guy, Joe Brown, I think his channel is The Brown Family. He was like, congrats on hitting 400, and I was checking my notifications. I was like, I didn't even know I was out hiking.
Son of a... He beat me to it. Right on. Okay. Yeah, that's because I was getting ready to talk to you yesterday, so that proves it. I mean, that means you got 3 subscribers in one day. There you go.
Yeah,
I get to say that.
Usually I get them when I'm marketing because I'm on posting my links, and I've never missed a day. And yesterday I actually missed a day putting my video up because I usually edit at night, and I was up till 2 a.m. the night before, and I was just like, I'm going to do it tomorrow, and then I was going to edit, but it was such a beautiful day yesterday, and we haven't been out of the house in such a long time that I was like, I'm going hiking. Sure. And so I never got my video online, which I feel so bad because I have not missed one day. So I'm sorry to my subscribers. I love you guys. I would never let you down, but I just missed one day.
Well, you know what?
Two videos.
You can take them on a hike sometime.
I actually, once I edit my video yesterday and today, or yesterday's video and the day before, they're going to see my hike.
Oh, excellent. Good.
Yeah, I brought them all with me yesterday.
Awesome. I have a question about your avatar on your Twitter. You have a pretty nice avatar there. Is that professionally done, or was that something you did for yourself? That photograph.
Which one is it? You'd have to remind me.
Is
it with colored
I forgot
hair?
what you call that style. Yeah, it's a little bit colored.
It's not
that tavern style,
pinup.
right?
It's pinup.
Pinup style. Okay.
Yes. Okay. I actually did my hair and makeup and everything myself.
Okay.
I did a photo shoot. And I did that shoot back in my house when I lived in Pine Top, Arizona. I did it in, what year was it? It was the year that right before my grandpa passed away. He passed away in 2012. So it was 2011. I did that in October. And I actually never got those pictures edited because right after I did the photo shoot, my grandfather passed away. And I lost contact with the photographer.
Oh, I see.
Oh, yeah. So I had the photo shoot done in 2011 of October. And I've been doing my hair that way for a good year or so at that time, and I actually miss it. I wish I wouldn't have dyed my hair all black because I was doing blue, purple, black, blonde, and red. And then every time I'd switch the color, I would change red to pink and then red to just a different color. I would always change the red, but I'd keep the blue and the purple. And I loved it. It was the funnest. It was more me. It's more my personality. It was just, it just got to an expensive point. So I kind of had to stop doing it, and it was about, it wasn't too bad. It was like $100 every 3 months I'd get it done. But being a mom on a budget, and where I lived at the time, I lived in Pine Top, Arizona, and that is a very small town where there's not any work. I was a ski tech in the winter, and if you don't work at the golf course in the summer, you have pretty much like Walmart or fast foods. So it's really hard to make money out there. It honestly was my favorite place to live because right outside the condos, I had the woods. So I would just take 5-mile walks every day in the woods behind my house, and I get my kids out there with me, and that's one thing I miss because since we moved to Colorado, I live in Westminster, and so there's no woods unless you drive, and so we can't just go for walks in the woods right behind my house. So I kind of lost my sanctuary, but hopefully, if things work out, hopefully one day my husband will get a promotion or a better position to where we can move a little closer to the woods and things.
Sure,
but he's only going up from his job. He's doing really amazing. He works for Globe, which is a program funded through NASA, and he just loves it. He's doing really awesome. He does the tech support, and they do basically the science program for most schools, colleges, and they do like the atmospheric research and stuff like that.
Oh, very cool. Okay. Let me just clear it up. So that photo that you had on Twitter, that avatar, was that for your portfolio, or was it for like something like a magazine or an ad?
No, almost every photo shoot I've done, I've never been published. I actually heard that I was published in a magazine, but I never seen the magazine. And somebody told me, your pictures at a magazine in a tattoo shop. I'm like, wait, what? Well,
what about the Playboy that you mentioned?
I auditioned for Playboy back in 2008. And I had my tattoo across my stomach of my boys' names. And they are more natural, which is funny. They don't care about fake boobs, but they're more natural when it comes to skin. So they said, you'd be great for the Vixen magazine. We haven't fully finished doing that one yet, but Playboy's more of the natural skinned, less tattoos. And so I was really proud of the ranking I got because they took the top 5 girls and I was the top 6. So I was right there. Out of all the girls that didn't have tattoos, I was like that close.
Yeah, that just means you had everything. It's just you had the tattoo.
I had everything. Yeah. I just had the one, and I didn't even have all my tattoos at the time. I just had my boys' names across my stomach, and I think I had my ankle tattoo, and that was it.
Okay.
It wasn't much.
Okay, now back to your husband. You said he works at NASA. I thought he was a computer builder. He worked at a store like that, but he does something a bit more.
Yes. Well, he has our business out of our home. He builds online businesses like websites, online businesses. Okay. If you look up the phoenixdreamcenter.org or wherehopelives.org, he built those he didn't build Where Hope Lives, but Phoenix Dream Center he built, and we currently, it's a nonprofit organization for, they help battered women and children and homeless people all over Phoenix and Arizona. They help over 40,000 people a month. And they help women that have been young girls that are on the streets prostituting and on drugs. They help them get into housing and take care of their kids and just bring them out of that situation, help them find jobs. So we run their website, which helps them be able to get the 1,000 and whatever donations a day so they can help these women. And so we run that website, and I run that business at home. Since he started working for NASA, I took over the computer business, and we run those 2 websites. We also run his own website, which is Rollercom Solutions, which I'll text you the link for that. You can post in. Okay. And he also runs my website, KandieAngel.com. And we're in the process of redoing KandieAngel.com, and we also bought a new domain name, which is Angels Technologies, and we're going to make that into something. I'm not sure if that's going to be my blog or if it's going to be, we're not really sure. We're just kind of changing a bunch of stuff and platforms, and since he works 40 hours a week plus, we're
so does he work
here and there on the weekends?
Is he contracted with NASA, or does he work, is he an employee there?
He's an employee. Okay, the company he works for is called UCAR and NCAR. NCAR is National Atmospheric Search or Center, I think, and then And
Okay.
then UCAR is like the University of Atmospheric Research or something like that, and University Center of Atmospheric Research. And so he works for the school part of NASA. He does the IT work. He works for the community support team. He is answering calls and helping with the.
Okay.
He does programming. He does like the system administration work. He's basically doing all the computer parts of it.
Yeah,
in the office, and he also works right across the hall, literally like right across the hall from his office. He works with multiple scientists. Yeah, there's scientists in his building. Yeah, he works with a lot of them. It's really cool.
Let's see. You did mention you're going to start doing more gaming videos. You did a few. Let me just ask about one of them, since a lot of my viewers are gamers and they do like to watch gameplay stuff. What do you think of Dragon Age?
Okay, Dragon Age 2 was my favorite. I played that game. I played it for 3 weeks straight. I played it for 3 weeks straight and beat the whole game while my boys were at their dad's for Christmas break. Yeah. I literally beat the whole thing. And Dragon Age Inquisition, I've tried to play, and I have that one video of it. And I think it's probably gotten least views because that game is for me, it's too long, drawn out, where you're not playing the game, you're more watching the story. And I love RPGs, don't get me wrong. Like, I loved God of War and Castlevania. Those are my favorite games. I beat God of War 2. I beat God of War 3. I love those games. I don't let my boys play those games because they're very violent. I'm a divorced mother, so I need to get some aggression out every now and then. It's more running around and hiking with the puppies. But, so I love RPG games. But when it comes to Dragon Age Inquisition, the new one, it's very slow starting. I mean, I haven't played it since then because I haven't had time. But I think once I get more into it, I'll see if it goes a little faster or if there's more, more of you playing and not so much storyline. Because I know the beginning's always kind of a long story, but it seems like their stories just drags out on the first one, on the beginning of this one.
I'll pay attention to that. I did make an intro video to making my character. That's pretty much as far as I got. I get really in depth in making my character.
Yeah, well, I do too. I'm very I was like, I can't find anybody that's prettier on this one, and I try to make them look cool, more like me, and I got through making the character, and I think I started playing to the first little save. Yeah,
you got a little bit in there.
Yeah, and after that, I was like, yeah, this game is so slow. And even Little Big Planet 3, I tried to play that, and it's fun, but I just can't attention span it. It's just I'm while I'm doing that, I'm like, somebody's texting me, or and it's and even lately, I think my ADHD is getting worse because I love TV and I love movies, and my husband. I will put on a point. My husband built me basically my own Netflix. There is a program called Plex. It's Plex. If you go to plex.tv, we made an account, and he basically made my computer. I have a total different operating system. I'm on Windows 8.1 right now, which I will tell you, out of all the Windows operating systems I've had, 8.1 is the best. It works great. It doesn't have very many. It's the best. I liked Windows 7 for a long time, but after using this one, I won't go back to any other Windows. But when it comes down to my choice of operating system is either FreeBSD, which is Berkeley's system distribution software, and Magia. It's a Linux program. And I have always been, I grew up using Windows and everything. So when I found Linux, it doesn't get viruses. I mean, Linux does, Ubuntu does, but since I started using FreeBSD, it's more code. You have to know how to write code and stuff like that. When you sign in, you're signing into code to log on, because it's extremely secure. Sure. It's 100% secure. And right now, when I'm on the internet, nobody can hack my internet right now because I'm on a VPN where my IP address is bouncing. So that way I'm not hacked, because I have a server on my computer, and it is a $2,800 tower. If it was bought from IBM or Dell, it would probably be over $6,000 or more, because my husband built it part by part. And he has all the best parts in here. This is the fastest computer I've ever used in my life. Excellent. It's just amazing. There's this thing called, it's like Netflix, and I download all my movies, all my shows, and there's this thing called Sickbeard, where you put in your shows, and it automatically gets them each week, just like a normal TV program.
Oh, I see.
It gets them when they come out, like exact time they come out. So I watch my shows when they come out. And even now I can't like focus while I'm watching like even shows I'm really into, like Vampire Diaries or Originals.
Yeah.
I love vampire stuff, so I'm really into Originals.
Cool.
And I'll be watching it, and as soon as I get like a YouTube notification, or I'm right on my phone. And
Yeah,
I'm like, dang it.
me too. It's tough now. There's so many things to enjoy: games, movies, shows, and with YouTube.
And you have so many different devices at the same
Yeah.
time. You're like, I got this device, and it's not even worth going to the movies anymore because my attention span wouldn't last long enough to pay the $9.50 or whatever it is. You know.
All right. Well, I want to say your most viewed video got 709 views, and it's your 100 subscriber special. And I'd say, I mean, that's pretty clear why that one got more views, but did you, as it shows, more skin, it's about her tattoos. But is there anything extra you did to promote that video?
But they are running around. No, I think it was just the bikini.
It's just that, yeah.
Because honestly, my demographics, I was looking at it, most of my subscribers are men.
Right.
And between the age of like 18 to, I'd say 50, honestly. It's not just the 18 to 34, they're like 18 to 50.
Yeah.
And I have a couple, like my kids' friends watch from my school, and that's why I try not to do, more adult stuff. I try to be more mom, than anything. But, I do want to reach out to more of those subscribers that like the other parts of me, because I am a tattoo model, and I do love my sexual side, and I love to show myself off. But at the same time, I have a lot of women, and I'm not trying to sound stuck up, because I am the least stuck up person in the world. I'm not shallow at all, because honestly, I don't think that I'm pretty. When it comes down to it, I will tell you every single thing that's wrong with me. I will tell you everything that I find wrong, and everything I find on another person that's perfect. And there's women that are heavy set out there that I can look at them and be like, oh my God, you're beautiful, and I'm just some ugly little girl, and I've always felt like that, very insecure about myself. So when I got breast, it wasn't to make other men happy or anything. I got them because they made me feel good about myself. And they gave me the confidence to look at myself and say, I am a beautiful girl, and I don't have to look. I was looking at, wow, I have no boobs, or wow, I'm too skinny, or I'm this or I'm that. And now I actually don't have to look, at my boobs because they're not there. Now I can look at myself and be like, oh, this outfit looks great on me, or I did my makeup nice, and I feel good about myself today. And it's taken a very long time for me to feel that way. It took almost 30 years for me to ever feel that way about myself.
I see.
And so, it was just to the point of I needed to know that I can be who I want to be. But then at the same time, I don't show a lot of cleavage in my videos, which I'd like to, because honestly, I love boobs. I got these because I love boobs. And I know this is going to sound bad, but I like to squeeze my boobs and play with them. They're just boobs, and I know every guy in the world will love this video now because I just love boobs.
Shall I put boobs in the thumbnails?
You should. You honestly should. But, it's just, they make a woman feel good about herself. And I mean, I know a lot of women that say, oh my God, I can't stand them. They kill me. If you grew up without boobs, you would not even be saying
Well, so
that.
tell me now, do you think if men and TV and media and all that wouldn't make boobs such a big deal, and it was just you and the women talking about boobs, would they be such a big thing on your mind?
Yes, they would, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
My mom, I don't know, there's some people probably that don't know who Dolly Parton is, because I'm pretty old, so I'm pretty old. Anyway, she's a very well-endowed woman. I think she's like a G or even further bigger cup, and she had a breast reduction back when she was younger, and my mom literally was almost the size of Dolly Parton when she was younger. My mom had cancer in both breasts, and when I was 1 year old, they did surgery on her, and they took out or like a gallon of water, basically 8 pounds of breast tissue out of both breasts, so 16 pounds total. She was huge.
Holy moly.
And so my whole life, I grew up seeing my mom be a well-breasted woman. I mean, even after she had her surgery, my aunts they weren't big, but they were, my aunt Pam that I used to look up to, she was like she was kind of like my figure when she was younger, you know, perfect little figure, but she had like a nice full C cup, and just, I idolized her because she was so beautiful to me. And so I always wanted to look like my aunt. And you know, just the pretty blonde hair and the pretty figure and the one that, and it wasn't so much that I wanted to have all the guys stare at me, but it was the fact that I wanted somebody to look at me and notice that I'm not the only one that, or that I'm not what I see, basically. I want somebody to be like, hey, you're pretty. And, you know, because my whole life I grew up thinking I'm not pretty. I'm not. I don't want to see myself, and I don't want to be in front of people, and people think I'm ugly. And I heard that. And I had two older brothers that are identical twins. And so they were really mean older brothers. They weren't the protective. They were the mean that they would like walk by me and push me, and I'd be like, whoa, and I'd go flying, or they'd rip heads off my Barbies. And so I would do the same thing. I'd grab the radios and throw them in the toilet. And
there you go.
we were just mean to each other. But the worst part about it is they kind of hated me growing up, because even though we were mean to each other, my mom favored me up until my little brother was born. So I was like the spoiled little princess until I was 8. And so, but they didn't understand. Once I turned 8, I became one of the little redheaded stepchildren too. And my little brother got babied. My mom was very, she favored her kids, which I love my mom, but you did it wrong, Mom. You know, and you know, she was a good mom. She tried hard because my dad never paid child support half the time. My mom was a single mom with 4 kids. And my little brother has a different dad, but, you know, my mom had him when we were visiting our dad, or she got pregnant with him when we were visiting our dad in the summer when I was 6 years old. And my dad, he actually has 2 older sons that I've never met from his first 2 marriages. My dad's been married like 6 times, which is funny because I think his wives only think he's been married 5 times, but my mom was his 4th wife. And he considers one of the marriages not a marriage because he was only married for a week. Well, he was married for a week and had it annulled, but it still counts. It still counts. Annulled or not, you were still married. But, so my dad has never been in my life. So I've always tried to learn from my mom's mistakes and my aunt's mistakes. And I'm not saying that they were bad parents, and I'm not saying that they did anything wrong. I'm just saying that I choose to raise my children differently, because my mom, she loved us, but she wasn't as strict as she could have been for me. She was very strict on my brothers. They graduated with high honors. They graduated like almost valedictorian. Or no, I think they were valedictorians. They were valedictorian, high honors, just extreme, smart, educated. And with me, my mom didn't push me as much. I dropped out of school. When people would make fun of me, she would write me notes so I wouldn't go to school, which was probably illegal. So you might want to cut that out. You might want to No, but she would write me notes because I would get made fun of so much that I was like, Mom, I'm sick. I don't want to go to school. I'm sick. And so it got to a point where I literally missed every single day of a school year except for 9 days. And my mom had to go to court for truancy because I was in, I think, 5th grade or 3rd grade or something. I think I was in 3rd grade, actually. And I just wouldn't go to school because I was made fun of. And my mom actually got the teacher fired because even the teacher was calling me stupid in 3rd grade. And which kind of sucked because he ended up being my math teacher in 7th grade. But he was really nice after that.
Sure. One interesting thing, guys, that I didn't realize until after me and Kandie started talking about the interview is she's from Westminster, Colorado, where I've been living for almost 20 years. So that's pretty cool, and it just shows you how small this world is. Right. I mean, she's the 6th or 7th interview, whatever this is, and to meet someone from the exact same place in the world, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
Tell me, what's next for you and your channel?
You know, I actually, once my husband's done building my website and rechanging it, because right now it's just a modeling page, we want to make it into like a weekly vlog, because I was going to do daily, but I think I will overwhelm myself since I'm already doing a daily vlog. I want to do a weekly vlog. So just kind of, you know, touch up of what I've done this week and just more of a chat.
Highlights.
But he's also going to integrate my YouTube channel where every time a video uploads to my YouTube, it automatically goes to my website. So people are going to be able to see, and it's going to network out there that way. I am been thinking I want to do more makeup tutorials, but when it comes to actually focusing on makeup, I always do it, and then I'm like, shoot, I wanted to do a tutorial on that. So, and plus, like I said, I am on a budget, so I can't really afford to buy makeup just to do these tutorials, unless it's, unless I, start making money on YouTube. But
and you should call them budget tutorials too. I mean, that's an attractive thing for a lot of people.
And like I said, I'm not like those girls that go out and spend $50 and $200 on makeup. Like, I would love to, don't get me wrong, but I am the Walmart girl, and I actually buy most of my stuff on Amazon because I love Amazon. I buy all my dog treats on Amazon. I buy everything on Amazon. It's cheaper. All my computer parts and everything. And so with my channel, I want to move it into doing more stuff. Once my car is fixed, it's actually in the shop right now. I want to do more like hiking videos with the dogs. I want to do more, just getting out there and doing more fun things, because it's so cold out here in the winter that I don't really get out much. And I plan on getting back into modeling hopefully this summer. I took the last year and a half off because I got my braces done. And so I'm wearing Invisalign right now, and so I just want to kind of, better myself and just regroup. And I took the year off also so I could have puppies and just, kind of get myself back to being with my kids and just spending more time, because they're getting older. They're about to hit high school soon, and so I just want to, focus more on family. But I'm definitely going to be doing behind-the-scene photo shoots as soon as I get one.
Great.
I will tell you, though, a lot of the photographers I have met in Colorado have flaked out on me. In Phoenix, I had photo shoots like constantly. In Vegas, I went to Chicago, I went to the Caribbean. I've been all over. In Colorado, I have had so many photographers get ready to do a shoot and be like, oh, sorry, we don't need you. Or I'll be like, okay, where's the location? And they're like,
they're just like the weather.
Yeah, they're exactly. There are a lot of them that are very flaky. But I'll be able to, I know there is one on my Facebook, Drace Brown. I plan on working with him. I do want to do something more in my wedding dress. I have a really amazing wedding dress that I got as a Vera Wang. And it's silver. It's not white. It's sterling silver. And so it's silver and then with black and everything. And I did kind of like a corpse bride style for my wedding. I did red, black, and silver. And so it was really cool. And so I want to use that with, I have an amazing cloak that I want to use it with and do kind of like a Snow White or, just some type of themed shoot soon. And so I want to film that. And I want to do more things with my kids, but they're really hard to get on camera. They're little stubborn guys. They're like, Mom, we don't want to be on camera. And half the time they walk around without a shirt on. So they're like, Mom, you're going to see my boobies. I was like, you're boys. You don't have boobies. It's just funny. So,
not yet.
So, I have a lot of ideas. It's just bringing them into play is the hardest part. But the gaming videos, I want to do more, but it seems like I don't have as much time with my puppies. So I'll probably do... And I know a lot of people do like separate channels, but I think the idea of separate channels is a lot harder to grow. I think if you do individual playlists, it works better. And so that's why
that's what I'm doing too.
And so I want to do like a playlist of just my puppies soon, once I find out if she's pregnant or not. But I'm actually going, she just recently got attached to the other puppy and it was in her first heat, so we were trying to prevent it. And so if she is pregnant, I'm going to be vlogging that whole experience. And I'm going to make it age appropriate because I'm going to vlog the birth too, which is probably going to be gross. But I want everybody to see what a Yorkie, for what a small puppy goes through.
Nature.
Yeah, and so I'm going to do that. And then I also want to do more stuff with my husband on like computer tutorials and stuff because he is very, very smart.
Technical stuff.
Yeah, he's very, very smart. And he is really good about talking about stuff. And there's sometimes... We're like a power couple. We are really good. Like when sometimes he can't explain something, I can explain it better and vice versa. Like we know each other so well that when it comes to us talking together, we talk over each other a lot, but we understand everything. So it's funny. A lot of people, are like, hold on, I can't get you and him. And I'm like, just listen and close your eyes and you'll know it's one person talking, just different voices.
No, you guys have a really good balance together, I'd say.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny. We actually work better together when we're working alone at home. Like when he worked full-time from home, he used to work for the video professor who used to do he used to do those computer commercials back in the day, the infomercials. I could teach you how to use your computer. Well, that guy, I introduced him to him because I was doing a photo shoot in Phoenix, and he was one of the friends with the photographer, and Roller started working for him, and he did a Canless Error website And when he was working for that guy, Roller couldn't explain himself well enough, so I would explain, and we worked better when he was home. See. Yeah, like we can spend every waking moment together and not fight, but when we work away, we get in more little arguments.
Yeah.
We're more, most people need breaks away from their spouse. We're better when we're together.
Mm-hmm.
But we've always been best friends first, so.
I understand that. Awesome. Okay, I got 10 speed questions for you. You got to answer these with one word or so. Okay. They're just whatever is on top of your mind. Okay, are you ready?
Okay.
What inspires you?
My husband, Roller.
Great. What is your favorite word?
It's a bad word.
Say it.
I can't,
or say the letter.
It starts with an N or an F. There's two bad words, and I don't mean them as those words, because there's one in every race, I'll put it that way. But I just have a bad, I use that word like the F word. To me, that,
I see.
Yeah, but actually, I could say the word whatever, I say a lot, but it's the F word. The F word or the N word, but I use the N word as the F word. Like,
right.
Shoot.
Okay.
Yeah, fudge, I'll put it that way.
I hear you.
And it's not a good thing, but my mom cusses like a sailor, so the F word was always going around. The F-bomb is always there. But the good thing is my kids know what not to do, kind of like me. I learned from other people's mistakes what not to do. My kids learn not to do that. So, yeah.
Exactly. Cool. Okay. What would you love to be if you could be any profession and be already completely developed within it? What would you like to experience?
I would love to be the head of an office and run a business and just be I love to micromanage. I'm very, very good at that. Cool. And I'm very good at I'm bad at organizing myself, but I'm very good at getting other people to do things in the right direction. Like when I met my husband, he was a little thug. He like, he drank underage and he smoked cigarettes and he was just like on probation, and I focused him and I was like, you're really good at this, you need to do this, and I focused him to where he's working at NASA without a degree. So I'm very good at being a mom, basically. I'm good at being a mom and focusing people. Awesome.
Okay, next one. What grosses you out?
Anything that jiggles, like Jello, male semen, sperm, like anything that jiggles. Like, I can't do jiggly things. I can watch scary movies. I can eat almost anything, but the texture of stuff just makes me gag. I can't do it.
I hear you. Okay.
Yeah, because literally I've changed baby diapers. Not very much can gross me out, but I can't. Anything that jiggles down my throat, just can't do it. Something like snot. Anything that looks like snot, I can't do it. I can't do it.
What do you like to hear in the morning when you wake up? What do you like to hear before you go to sleep?
I love, if my husband wouldn't turn off my audiobooks, I love hearing Twilight audiobooks. It's my favorite thing to sleep to, like Breaking Dawn audio for the Twilight Saga. I love it. For about a year straight, I couldn't even sleep, and that was the one thing that helps me sleep is listening to Twilight, because I love the story of it. The storyline really reminds me of me and my husband and how we met and how Edward protects Bella. That's how Roller made me feel when I met him. And
I see.
And so I love hearing that. But in the morning, I love hearing my husband and kids waking me up and, hey, Mom, or the puppies giving me kisses. I just love waking up to a happy house.
What scares you?
Bugs. I hate bugs.
Bugs?
Like cockroaches and spiders freak me out because they're extremely poisonous, so those scare me really, really bad. I've been stung by a scorpion twice when I was 18. I've been stung by a black widow. So anything that's creepy crawly scares the crap out of me. Other than bugs and things that are smaller than me, I'm not afraid of anything. But
elephants are all right.
Oh yeah, like I love animals and all kinds of stuff. I don't really like cats because I'm allergic to them, and if they scratch you, they actually carry infections, which is crazy. But when it comes to like life things that scare me, my biggest fear, I've almost drowned a few times, so my worst fear of dying would be drowning, and then my worst fear in life would be something happening to my children and family. I'm very overprotective of my kids, and without them, when they're dead, when I first left my ex-husband, he took my kids for 7 months. For 7 months while I got my life together. I see them every other weekend, but he made it where I could only see them every other weekend. and he made it very hard for me. And so basically, my biggest fear in life is losing my kids, because without them, I can't breathe. I can't focus. I can't do anything but cry myself all day long and just have panic attacks constantly.
Okay.
My children are my life.
Well, something lighter now. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you choose to live?
Me and my husband actually have been talking about this. When my kids are older, because my ex-husband would never let me go out of the country. I know for a fact. I have passports for everybody, but he won't let me move. And we actually want to move to the UK by like London or around that area, like outskirts of London.
Okay.
But if it were in the United States, I want to move to Florida so I could be on the beach or Hawaii, because I've been to Hawaii. I've been to the Caribbean, and I love tropical weather. I'm more of the beach, warm weather kind of girl than the freezing cold or the really hot. I like to be right in the middle. Other than the beach, I also like the woods, because I lived in Pine Top, Arizona, and that was actually the first place I ever felt home. It was just going for walks. I never realized I liked being in the woods, and I actually think it's fun chopping wood too. Hurts like hell, but I actually find it fun, because I grew up in the desert. So I'm like, I could do this. Look at me, I'm Paul Bunyan.
Right.
But honestly, the best time I ever had, like, I love Hawaii, and it was relaxing, and the Caribbean was amazing. But Pine Top was the first place I ever really felt home, because I could just take hours, and I love to walk. I can't run because I don't have stamina when it comes to breathing, but when it comes to walking, I can walk for hours and hours and hours and not get tired. Because that's what I used to do when I was a teenager. There was nothing to do. And the town I grew up was 3 miles long, 1 mile wide. So all we could do is walk. And so to get away from my mom, I'd just walk for hours around my town. I knew the town like the back of my hand, but so, it was, I think, between the beach or the woods.
All right, excellent.
Those would be my favorite places to live. But I definitely want to move to the UK. That's where I want to live.
Great.
In the long run, I want to live by London or somewhere.
Let me see. What excites you most?
Well, that's a hard question. What do you got to verify that down, limit that down.
That's up to you. It can be mentally, physically, whatever you want to break it down to.
Honestly, almost all the time, me and my husband get along. So what excites me most is just spending all my time with him and having fun. And but when it comes to things that I do, he taught me how to longboard. So I just love longboarding. It feels like I'm flying. I love it.
Cool.
But yeah, when it comes to being excited, I just when my husband comes home, it excites me. I love spending time with him. He's my best friend, so I just love, even though I drive him nuts because I talk a lot. When we do get to, once I calm down enough to where he can relate, we just have the best time hanging out. It excites me just staying up late and talking to him and stuff.
Let's go a little bit more humble and tell me what makes you smile then. Just being happy. My whole life, I fought to be happy. I have had a very hard life. Like, when I was 8 years old, my dad walked up to me in court when he was fighting for my brothers and told me he never wanted me. And he adopted a little girl after that. So it was a little hard to deal with. Or he adopted a little girl right before that, and he actually took care of the adopted child and none of his biological kids. From any of it, yeah. Wow.
And he actually takes care of his adopted one now and her kids and treats and doesn't see any of us. So
terrible.
So I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I've been through a lot of hardship and heartache in my life, and just being happy and not waking up knowing that it's going to be a bad day and knowing that I'm going to have something to cry about or. Stuff like that.
No, I like your answer. I like that.
I love waking up and just knowing that my children are down the hall and they're healthy and my puppies are happy and my husband is smiling, and I just love I love having a family that is here to support me.
Appreciating that happiness.
Well, for the fact that growing up in the situation, like my mom was always there, my grandma and all of them were always there, but I've always felt alone and I didn't know why. I felt alone my whole life, and even when I had my kids, like, they filled a huge hole in my heart, but there was still something missing, and I was already married, and I was already a mom, and I still didn't know what was missing, and when I met Roller, it filled that hole, and it was my soulmate, my best friend, and I was just surprised.
leave us with a final message.
Okay, well, I hope you guys like my channel. It's random, crazy, every day. If you want to see the inside life of a crazy model, that I don't do too many photo shoots lately, but I promise I will be getting back into them. Just come and see us. We're here. If you want to know about just everyday life, I have all the answers, as many as I could give you. In 35 years, I've been through pretty much it all. So if you guys have anything to ask or anything you want to know, I can give you the answer on it. Other than the fact about periods. Somebody asked me about a period the other day, and I know this is probably something you don't want to hear. I haven't bled since I was 25, so I can't give you info on that. I got fixed back then. But, just come check us out. We're here. We try to be fun, and I just try to give you guys a good time.
Right on. All right, and our digital handshake. So guys, please check out Kandie's blogs, check out her channel. As you see, she's a very fun young lady to be with, talk with, and she's open to collaborations, suggestions, comments, all of that. So send her some comments, likes, and yeah, if you want to collaborate, I think she's an excellent candidate for that. She plays games, she's got a sparky personality, so I think she'd be a very pleasant person to work with. And I do think so, as I just did. So, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave us a like. Please comment what and how I can make this show, how I can make this show better, what I can do to improve it. If you have any suggestions, if you want to be on a show, let me know. Go check her channel out, subscribe to it, give her support. It's hard getting people, guys. It's hard being seen on YouTube these days. Support who you like and respect. So until next time, have a great day or night wherever you are.
Bye, guys.
Subscribe and comment down below, and maybe you can be on our next show. Be sure to check out Arthur Kidawa's gameplays, monsters, and other work.
For this program as well, so anytime you want to be featured, just let me know. So if there's a great YouTuber that you want to see interviewed, and if you know some questions you want to ask them, let us know who it is and what questions you have. And again, if you're a YouTuber and you want some more viewers and more subscribers and more fans to meet you and find out about you, this is a great chance for you. It's a great opportunity.
Sorry if you can hear my phone in the background. It's ringing over there.